bat and you're facing a lefty pitcher, is this the lineup that we should expect most times in these situations?
Yeah, I think so for the time being. Obviously, at times we'll get Muncy today, and then we'll get James in there. So that'll probably happen on a Sunday. And, I think Will be down on Sunday versus Max after playing 3 in a row. And then Austin will be in there. So that'll look different, but in a vacuum, pretty much the same, yeah.
I'm not sure if you got to see the Brewers-Mets game where McNeil took exception with Rhys Hoskins sliding a little bit too hard into second. But in your game yesterday in the 4th inning, it seemed like Contreras had spikes up on Mookie. What's your definition of what's over the line in those situations?
Yeah, I think I didn't see the play today. I actually didn't watch the replay. I heard about it yesterday with the Contreras play. I think, I don't know. Obviously, no one knows any player's intent. I will bet that, Hoskins, certainly Contreras, they probably haven't slid all spring. And so I don't know. I'd like to give the player the benefit of the doubt of, you just slid too late versus trying to go out there and hurt a player, which, obviously you never want to think that. But again, I didn't see either play.
How much of that is still a concern with Mookie being as short, or having more of those potential collisions around the bag?
No, for me, there's none at all. Because I think that, you can, talk about being in the outfield and talking about diving for a ball and your wrist or your shoulder. And so on the dirt, potentially it's, a base runner. So I think there's always, a chance for something like that to happen, and you just can't kind of live life like that.
With Mookie generally, when he switched to shortstop late in spring, not that he wasn't locked in and preparing for the year anyway, but do you think there was like an extra level of concentration or intensity that he started to feel at that point? And do you attribute any of that to like how locked in he looks at the plate right now, just coming out of the gate?
I don't know. I think that's certainly a question Mookie could answer, but you look at his track record, he's been pretty good offensively in his tenure here. To that end, obviously when he came in and played second base last year, could that have helped to focus more to then lead to offensive performance? Maybe. And I just think right now it's just too short of a time to kind of make that judgment yet.
Is it like just seeing a guy kind of as locked in as he is right now to start the year? Like how hard is it to get there, especially not at the start of any year, but one where you guys did this great trip and all the other things?
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's like there's just no exact science to it. Early on in camp, he was the most unlocked player trying to find his swing, and Freddie was the same way. And now you see him, and they're both swinging the bat really well. So they're just really good players, and you just hope that it syncs up sooner than later, and those hot spurts last longer than they don't. But yeah, given the travel, what we've done, to see the consistent performance has been very helpful, for sure.
Mookie's always kind of talked about enjoying having a challenge with him. Obviously, this is a pretty obvious one, but even before the Infield stuff the last couple of years, what were some examples you saw of him sort of embracing challenges?
I don't know if it's, I think it's just kind of maybe human nature in the sense that once you feel like you've dominated something or mastered something, you're looking for something else. Not to say that he was bored with right field, but all the Gold Gloves that he won, and to be able to get in on the dirt. I think one part of it is help the body as far as kind of the recovery, not running out to right field every night, every inning. So I think that's one part of it. But the other part of it is I think a new challenge is always something that he welcomes. And so to the question, this is probably the biggest challenge he's ever had, outside of hitting, which is always a challenge for every hitter.
He was out there at 245, taking ground balls and making out any shortstop. Like as a manager, what has it been like watching him kind of like this pursuit of greatness that you can match that position?
Yeah, I think as a manager, I think it just more boils down to the player, because he doesn't run from challenges. He never makes an excuse. So I think that there's been some balls that haven't been made, but he's never run from it. So I think that's something, and then he puts in the work. And so his work is not just reactive on performance, it's just kind of who he is and what he does every day. So that just makes everybody else better.
Hi, Dave. I think fans yesterday were just so excited to see the offensive firepower. How much will it take, or will it take much at all, to keep that momentum going?
Yeah, yesterday was a great day. I think that you could tell that our players were excited to get back to Dodger Stadium and play a meaningful game. Certainly players, I think, bring the energy initiated, and when you have all the star power we have, I think that there's already a natural buzz, excitement, and so I think that we should be able to sustain it, because there's so many good players that every night somebody could create that energy and that spark for us.
If I remember right, in December, Dave, when you talked to Mookie about moving to second base, one of the things he asked was not to be back and forth. Does that not apply this way?
No, it doesn't. I think that as I've learned, there's things that can't be set in stone, because they seem to always sort of change. And at that point in time, with what we knew, Gavin was going to play shortstop. So that's just not the case. So what it entails is a conversation and openness and an understanding, which Mookie has and shown to be flexible, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So there'll be times that he does kick over second base to get Rojas in there.
And you've said this isn't strictly a right-left platoon. How often do you think you'll do that?
Yeah, I haven't decided on Sunday yet. But if I do have Mookie play second base on Sunday, then the next left-hander, Mookie will be in at short, and then Gavin or some other guys, maybe Outman and Muncy will play, and Kiki will be over there at second base, something like that. But it is certainly it's not a platoon situation. I want Mookie to get as many reps, as possible at short, while also keeping Miguel Rojas involved too.
Is there a certain quality of left-hander that you want to do this with, or is it the days?
I think right now it's more the days, and I think that we have more time to kind of, comb through even more matchup based. But I think right now it's more of just the days, repetition for Mookie, and then even, with James and Max, sort of the every other left-hander situation as of now.
When you have days where Rojas at second and Mookie at short, or like you want Rojas playing shortstop when he does play?
Say it again, one.
Like, will there be days where Rojas is playing second while Mookie's playing short, or like when Rojas plays, you want him
When Rojas plays, he'll be playing short.
With the trying to get like a setback or anything to go from, seeming like he could have maybe pitched in Korea to now it seeming like a little longer?
No, I think it was more of a residual. Because if we would have known this, he wouldn't have made the trip to Korea. So once he got there in catch play, it just never felt better. And so I think at that point in time, the medical staff decided to slow play it and, again, essentially start up again. And so, the catch play is still 60 feet, 90 feet, something like that. And I don't know when his first pen is going to be.
No, this just like how he was feeling between now.
Correct.
Dave Shohei was throwing earlier. Is this his second time? And then what is his schedule?
Today was his second time, and then it'll be off tomorrow. From what I understand, it's every other day for the next couple weeks. And we'll see how we go from there.
Do you know what's next for Walker yet?
Walker is going to head out and pitch in Tacoma for our OKC team on Sunday, and my expectation is it will be 4 to 5 innings.
Do you have any starts you kind of want to see down there?
No, I don't think it's set in stone, but I think 4 is somewhat probably fair, and kind of give or take a start. But I think 4 is, reasonable.
Is it more about building up?
It is. It's about building up. It's about building up and then fine tuning, all of his pitch mix. So once he gets here, he can go 6 innings and he can recover well, and he feels like he's equipped to go out there and consistently get major league hitters out.
Dave, with Trinan, is it still the lung thing, or is it possible that maybe the ribs were hurt more than previously thought?
Well, I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think the imaging, what we saw, what we knew, we felt good about him, traveling with us, and assumed or hoped that it would dissipate as the days went on, but that just wasn't the case.
Dave, it's a Good Friday, Easter weekend. Outside of work, what does the weekend mean to you and some of your players?
Well, I think for me personally, it's a great weekend. You know, as a Christian, I don't know everyone's faith, but it's a very religious weekend and it's very meaningful for me.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep, thanks guys.